Hello and welcome. My name is Tyrion Lannister. You are currently listening to episode 2 of my efficiency series in the browser game, Game of Thrones Winter is Coming. I hope you enjoy it. So, today I want to discuss the Tavern. If you look at your tavern, you can see that it is broken up into 5 different categories. You have your city buildings, your economy expansion, your troop recruitment, your battle bonus, and then your army size bonus. So depending on what exact style of game you're going for or what type of account this is, there are definitely different things you're going to want in your tavern. I would say that just about everyone is going to enjoy having a high aptitude that will give you more basically speed up time. Every 4 hours you can claim at my level, which is 2178, I can receive 7 hours and 15 minutes of free speed up every 4 hours, which is pretty good. I'm basically almost tripling my time at the moment. Similar with the economy expansion, pretty much always good to get some more gold. Right now I get 176,000 gold every 4 hours. And then similarly the troop recruitment, you get, with a command of 2,000, I'm getting 200 tier 4 troops. I cannot choose one, but I will get a random set of tier 4 troops, and I will get 200 of them. There's also a chance, I'm honestly not sure what the chance is of getting this, but sometimes you will get a crit, meaning it doubles the amount of either speed up time, gold dragons, or troops that you receive for these first 3. Now, while these 3 are important and they are helpful and they certainly will help you to grow, they are not, in my opinion, the most important parts of the tavern. If you want to be a fighting account, if this is your main account, then the most important things are going to be the battle bonus and the army size bonus. So as you can see right now, I have a combat rate of 2,551. That gives me a total of 63.77% total health, attack, and defense whenever I fight. Game of Thrones Winter of Coming has stats that are either temporary or permanent. This is a permanent stat. You always get this. You don't need your lord to be in it. It just is intrinsic in your account. So that makes it very, very valuable. It is important to note that there's a cap on the combat rate. You cannot receive more than 50% more total health, attack, and defense than your opponent. And the way that they calculate it is they'll just take your combat rate and your opponent's combat rate, and then essentially whoever has more, they get the bonus, again, up to 50%. So this is important when you're fighting other people to see, are you a stronger account than them? Are you getting this bonus attack, health, and defense percentage? The other important stat here is the army size bonus. Army size has become essential in this game. If you look at the refinement, that's where you get a lot of your army size, but you can also get a lot of army size here. With just 1,297 leadership, I'm getting 38,910 bonus to my army size and 129,700 to my rallying size. This is huge because rally size is so important in this game. Having a big rally size and a big army size will allow you to attack bigger and bigger opponents. It will also reduce the number of troops that you lose since you have more troops in that fight. The point is, growing your army size is really, really important for your combat. It's important for you to be a rally leader, to have a big rally size. It's important for you to be a fighter, to have a big army size. And even in events such as Alliance Conquest, it helps to have a bigger rallying size and a bigger army size since you can contribute more troops when you are reinforcing things. So let's talk about where you get each of these things. And again, just to reiterate, I would focus, if you are a fighter, on the last 2, if you're a farmer, on the top 2 especially. But I think that if you are a main account, I would focus on the combat and the leadership first. So if I go to my friendship list, I have all of my commanders listed, and you can see up here on the right, this displays how much of each stat they're giving me. So my Rob, who's probably my strongest, he's giving me 347 combat, meaning the troops that it gives me. 290 combat rate, that's the good one that gives me the attack, health, and defense percentage. And then the leadership at 177. So if I click on Rob, what I will see is that I have 6 stars on the combat, 6 on the command, 5 on the combat rate, and 3 on the leadership for an overall quality of 14. Now, this is important to note that these are all 1 star higher than Rob traditionally is. It is because Rob is awakened. The level 2 final awakening is that you get an additional star on each of the friendship stats, so that makes him even stronger. Now, it says here that Rob says we need more weapons to fight the coming war. This means that he gets double points from weapons such as the hand axe, which I've highlighted here. This says type arms. That means that weapons, same thing. He will get double, so I'll just give an example. If I put 1 on him right now, there we go. Times 2, going up to 80. If I were to give him, let's say, a book, it would just go up. Wouldn't crit, it would just go to 90. So it's better to give the right type of commander the right type of gift. If I look at someone like Barrett here, Barrett says I'll always choose wine over honor. This means that he takes drinks or ale. If I gave the ale to him, he will get the double points, not giving him a hand axe would only give him 1 times. So you can figure out based on what they say, dessert, Arya's know the weapons, Tyrion is drinks, Mango is weapons, food, jewelry, more food. So you can see how it is pretty clear on each of them. And this is common knowledge in the game. You should be able to figure out which is which. That's not meant to be an obstacle. But essentially, what we are looking for in any commander is their combat rate first. That is, in my opinion, the most important stat, always what I base it on. You'll notice that all these commanders all have combat rate. These are all commanders that are free to play, that I was able to get 2 gold, so that's why I'm using them here. I would recommend, in terms of being as efficient as possible, that you don't necessarily just hard push one commander, and I'll explain why. If I look at Rob again, it cost me 2,500 friendship points in order to improve him to the next level. And any improvement, does not matter what level they are, any improvement just means that you get 6 more or however many stars they have, so 6 more command, 5 more combat, and 3 more leadership. That's what leveling up means. But if I look down much lower, let's say I look at my, let's look at Kravis. Kravis only takes 250 in order to improve him, but I haven't improved him because he doesn't give combat rate, so I don't really care that much about him. He isn't helping my combat rate, so it would be a waste for me to put them on him. But there are other champions that give combat rate, such as Mango. Mango gives combat rate, he gives me 3 combat rate, and he only costs 12,400. So what I want to do right now is talk a little bit about when should you be balancing and when should you be hard pushing one. And if we just do a little bit of math here, we can figure out which is best. So if I look at Rob, Rob gives me 5 combat rate for 2,500 friendship points. So let's just do some math there. So for the 2,500 divided by 5, that gives me 500 friendship points for 1 combat rate. So that's right now the rate that Rob will give me combat rate is for 500 friendship points equals 1 combat rate. Well, let's take a look at Mango now. Well, with Mango, it's 1,240 divided by 3, since there were 3 combat rate stars. So that gives me, it's a decimal, but it's around 410 friendship for 1 CR. So that means that right now, it is better for me to be putting my weapons on Mango in order to improve his combat rate, since that will give me more combat rate for my friendship. Now, keep in mind that once I upgrade Mango, the cost to upgrade him again is going to increase. The higher their level, the more friendship points it takes to increase them, especially at these gold levels. If you look just 50, level 50, my Russell cost me 1,000. Mango would cost me 1,240, so 240 more for just that one level up. If I look down lower, so let's look between 31 and 32, 350 for Robert to improve, 360 for Face to improve, only 10 more at the lower levels, so it's much cheaper to improve. I would highly discourage giving other types of gifts to someone that does not get the double points for them. It is half as effective, and it is not worth it in the long run. You're better off waiting and getting the correct gifts for that commander. That being said, there are some gifts that are less likely to be used than others. Let me go out of this screen for a second. If we go back here, I can look at them a little bit quicker. And what I will tell you all is that this commander, Rob, requires weapons, Arya requires weapons, and Mango requires weapons. So that's 3 of my high combat rate ones that all take weapons. That's tough. There are not enough weapons to go around, frankly. If I look at drinks, both Barrett and Tyrion both take drinks. If I look at desserts, Sheila takes desserts. Food, Russell here takes food, as well as Obine and Haley. But you may notice that there are a couple things missing. First of all, I've been giving a lot of my jewelry to Jana, and that was just from because I just had so much and I had nothing to do with it. So I figured I may as well just up my aptitude a little bit. But there are no jewelry commanders that I have up high that I can give my jewelry to, and there are no books commanders that I can give them to. Instead, those are some of the paid commanders. So Sabrina takes jewelry, and I give her my jewelry when she levels up to purple. Similarly with Seg, he takes books. I will give all of my books to Seg. But so what I want to do right now, well, I can't see it if I'm on him. I have all of these books saved up, and I'd rather just save up those books so that once I upgrade Seg, I can get him all the way to a maxed out purple, which is a lot of improvement to make. So I would rather wait for that rather than burn through all of my books now, giving them to someone who doesn't get as much out of them, and then not be able to improve my Seg once he upgrades. So I think that patience is a virtue when it comes to the Tavern, and I greatly, greatly encourage you to hold off on spending all of your friendship gifts the second that you get them. But certainly you're going to have a large stockpile likely of books and jewelry. Those are the two ones that really stick around for a little while. Obviously, a lot of the paid commanders do have better stats, but you can't necessarily improve them unless you get them to a higher rank. Since all of mine are gray, a lot of them give very high combat rates, but I can't improve them because I don't have them at green quality. So that's kind of what restricts me there. Even someone like Uma, who I will improve her once she gets there. She gets desserts, and I'd gladly give her desserts for 3 combat rate, but I need her to be purple first. So there are a lot of commanders like that I will improve once I get to that point. I would definitely say that a lot of people do something where they basically don't even upgrade commanders that don't give combat rate. I don't necessarily think that approach is the best. I would say getting them to around 20 or so is a pretty optimal point. It's really cheap to upgrade them before that point. I think that I probably upgraded a couple of these too high. But like someone like Varys gives me leadership. Leadership is pretty good. I really like that. Also, that's a lot of aptitude and a lot of finance. So I kind of said, okay, I'll get them all the way up to 30. That's fine with me. Similarly with Sansa, she gives a lot of helpful stats, and she does give 3 leadership, which is really good. So I don't think that those you necessarily need to ignore. But I think with a lot of the others, they're not giving you a ton of stats, but it's so cheap and so easy to do. I mean, I'm getting 57 aptitude out of this. This is probably, a good 30 minutes of speed up every 4 hours or so. So I'd rather take that than not have it, is my personal opinion on it. So I would say in general, if they don't have combat rate, get them to around 20. If they do give combat rate, get them as high as possible. You should pour every resource you can into them. And when you're trying to make a decision about what is most efficient, just do some simple math. Just look at how much combat rate are they going to give me, how much will it cost to upgrade them, and then do some math of, okay, well, how many friendship points is that per star of combat rate that I'm getting? So more stars, going to be better, but you do want to make sure that you're being as efficient as possible with everything, with the friendship gifts that you have. So that's all for today. I just kind of wanted to take some time to talk a little bit about the Tavern. It is a relatively old device. I think they've had it for probably about a year now. But I think that it's something that I know I messed up a lot when I first started. I didn't really fully understand what all of it meant. But I definitely will say that combat rate is a hugely important stat in the game. Unfortunately, it is a very high pay-to-win stat. The free-to-play commanders typically do not have great combat rates, but you need to do what you can to be as efficient as possible. I think the max for a free-to-play player combat rate is something around this, actually. I think it's 2,800. It's something around there. I think someone's figured out the numbers at some point. But sadly, it's not the crazy 6,000 stats that you'll see some of the super whales have. And I'm never going to get to that point, but I think that it's about being as efficient as you can, being as strong as you can in that individual moment, and being the best count that you can be. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there are other videos that you guys would like to see in this series. I have a couple others in mind, but I would love to hear from you guys what you think. And I think you should also be expecting, I will hopefully have a video about our UC match. I am in MAD right now because we have our UC coming up. So I've joined them again for our UC match against BCL. I wouldn't be expecting us to win this match, but I do think that we are good to put your prediction points on. I think that this is I think we have 65,000 points that we have as a difference, and I think that it's very doable that we'll make up that difference. So I think Mad is a good bet if you're trying to look for a team to bet on. We're pretty strong, but I'm looking forward to it, and I will do a review of that UC once that happens. So hope you enjoyed it. See you all next time.